Hi, this is hello, the world. This is Rob
And Lars?
and Loz. We're from Nottingham, and we basically play a lot of Warhammer Fantasy, and we're going to make some battle reports about it.
They'll be terrible. Enjoy.
Yeah, most of them will be awful. I'd just like to say, for me, this is Rob, okay, because you're new, you won't really know my voice. I mainly would like to make the videos because I'm going to be using a lot of the Warhammer Forged monsters, using bound scroll spells. Not spells, sorry, just bound scroll things. Just taking monsters basically in my army that I shouldn't be allowed to take, but because I'm gonna.
I'll be taking a lot of cav to run away from all the monsters.
And I think Loz is going to be playing the new Wood Elves from next week. Today we're playing High Elves versus Empire. So we are the Sixdice skill team. That's our team name. Okay, so this is the first thing we've ever done, so we don't really know what we do. So if it's awful, feel free to leave the comments below with your address so I can come and find you and get you. Or your Facebook so I can find out who your mum is and message her and tell her that she's fat.
And
So-
just for the record, we will not be playing competitively.
No, the
Because
Sixdice.
we can't.
No, we. We can't. No, we can't. No, we cannot. Although, actually, talking about that, Sixdicer. So,
Guess who won?
well, no, don't, no, because I hate that. I hate it when people tell you who wins at the beginning or gives away. There I am. I'm a dick.
Giving nothing away.
That's the end. That's the beginning. That was my face at the beginning. So I played Empire, and I took a list, which is basically I've just finished the steamship, which I'm really chuffed with. Loz thinks it's terrible. He thinks it's a nice model. I think. Do you like it?
Yeah, like the model, like the painting, hate the rules.
Hate the rules for it. I prefer another steam tank, I think. I also did take a steam tank, so technically, basically 2 steam tanks. So everyone else who wants to put in a comment below how much of a dick I am. No, we can't swear. We shouldn't swear.
We shouldn't swear, it's YouTube.
Yeah, it's YouTube. How much of a bleep I am for taking 2 of them. And then I also have done a War Altar, which I'm really proud of. I've done some demis, which are only okay, and some other stuff. So, and 2 cannons. So I basically took stuff that I'd painted, and I've really only painted the stuff that's any good.
Which makes sense.
Which is most, because I took lots of great swords and flagellants, as they're the best units in the game. I don't often play Empire. Loz doesn't play Empire either. We've got lots of armies between us.
Yeah.
I think we've got 8 or 9.
We splash about.
We splash about. So it's gonna be quite an interesting channel. So that was my army list. I basically halfway through last night changed my list. I was like, actually, I'm gonna take out my second unit of demi, so I only have 1, and I took another 2 cannons, which against Loz's list actually was fairly pointless.
It's fairly pointless, but you made sure you got the kill on the one thing that could be killed.
Yep.
So I guess that's what matters.
Yep. So your list?
My list consisted of, I know I'm going to get some neckbeardy nerd rage for this comment, but 50 archers. I don't care. 50 archers. Hand of glory, what are you going to do?
Were you not at any point worried about someone dwelling in the unit?
More concerned on my Phoenix Guard. I don't think anyone's going to care about dwelling archers, are they?
Did that change your list, knowing you would be playing me, and the chances of me taking dwellers ever is low?
No, it didn't, but I wrote this list 3 weeks ago. So.
Okay, alright, good. Okay, so you took a Lithanar.
A Lithanar, 50 archers, BSB in the archer block with Banner of the World Dragon.
Perfectly point attributed item there.
Yeah, and then I just had
50
another block
50.
of men, which was just Phoenix Guard. So I had 2 blocks of infantry, one with a turret ward and one with a fort ward. And 2 bolt throwers and a Phoenix.
And you'd had another level 2 on high magic
in the Phoenix Guard.
So, not a very complicated list.
Not a very complicated list, 'cause I don't like to play complicated.
Well, that's interesting, seeing as you're about to buy the Wood Elf army.
Big balls, big dice.
Big balls, big dice. Okay, so we roll for magic. I only had a level 4, and prepare yourself, internet. I took the Law of Fire. As we're to see in this game, that was a great decision.
Did you ever cast any spells?
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. So I took Law of Fire, and I took. See, now Cascading Fire Cloak, there's a bit of a mistake there. I thought that was Fulminating Flame Cage.
Yeah, neckbeards, get him.
Didn't read the rule, didn't read the cards. So that's what I rolled anyway. Took Fireball as a SIG, obviously. I really don't know what I was thinking, to be honest, with this plan. Thought I might fireball some stuff, but then I quickly realised what's the point in trying
I
to...
just thought elves die.
Yes. And you took High Magic.
High magic times 2.
Times 2. So you got a level 2 with Soul Quench and Arcane Unfolding.
Well, I took double high magic because I wanted to make sure I definitely got Hand of Glory.
You wanted to take, so you rolled the
If
level
you
2.
take 50 archers.
So you roll the level 2 first.
Yes.
Little tip for you: if you've got 2, roll the level 2 first, or level 1 first, or whatever. Maybe take one of those spells out, increase your chance of getting level 4 again with the one you want. And then you did get Hand of Glory and Warp Between Worlds and Fiery Convocation. Yeah, I don't even know what the other spells you were because it became fairly moot.
Fairly moot. I got Fiery Convocation. I didn't get Apophis, so that was the only one I didn't have.
That you wanted.
No, I didn't even want Apophis.
Okay, so we rolled some terrain. We got some forests and we got a river. And I take my own river to Games Workshop HQ because they don't provide one. That's not their fault. They
single-handedly market the supplies.
they do provide a lot of scenery, which is very nice, and the tables are very nice.
A lot of the same scenery.
True. We do have to. People, if you are listening to this and are from Nottingham and go to Games Workshop HQ, and you're using the fences as dice holders,
You guys are pricks.
yeah, that's yeah. We'll bleep that out, but
You know where I live.
Yeah.
Come at me.
like share for other people. Just think about it. Did I win deployment and I won side?
And nothing else.
So I won side, and I chose to deploy my swordsman. So this is my deployment. I deployed my deployment in that. Which
You keep saying swordsman. Do you mean militia?
I mean swordsman.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were swordsman.
Swordsman.
The swordsman in the middle. I deployed
Oh, their swords. Sorry,
in
I'm thinking
the
great
in the
swords.
-2.
Yeah.
Because that was a wall, gave me -2 cover, which was really good against him.
Really good against 50 archers.
50 archers. That was a river.
Army.
Which I deployed my Marienburg steamship, everybody. Yay! I also have a detachment of archers, scare machine with my level 4 in, a detachment of extra hand wet. They may look like halberdiers, just ignore that. And then my steamship, my demis, and my stank. And they were all near that forest because in the top right hand corner was Loz's bolt throwers. So I wanted to get the -1 on that, and I also didn't want to get, because he had a Lithanar on the other side, so I didn't want to get double bolt throw down the line. Then Loz's deployment, he deployed. So do you want to walk us through that?
I deployed my Phoenix behind my Phoenix Guard, thinking they could tank cannonballs with ward saves, which isn't true.
So to let you know what he's talking about is if you have a multi-wound model and a cannonball goes through it, if it
Fails to kill it
if
outright.
it fails to kill outright, the cannonball stops there. That is not true of single
Wound models. Even if they don't kill it, it will still travel through.
which
I learned tomorrow.
which Loz learned today because he thought. But then it would have been safe nowhere anyway.
Yeah, true.
Like so, it was a bit annoyed at the start, but so yeah, you go on, Karen.
It just meant you got a few extra Phoenix Guard when you shot it.
Like I won, I think, but let's not.
That's one more than you would have got.
Okay, so you got your Phoenix with Frost Heart, obviously
Yeah, yeah.
painted that way.
Also proxying 20 archers with thin air, by the way.
Yeah.
So just imagine they're there. Just imagine.
So that's a block of 50 on the left. So there's Phoenix Guard in front. Come on, this is your bit. I'm not gonna.
Then there's 30 Phoenix Guard
Yeah.
at the middle with the level
4.
4, just to buff up the ward save and just generally just be a dick, really. Like, he's really irritating when he's in a block of Phoenix Guard, so
He is.
there you go. And then I put some Reavers with Vanguard on the left-hand side just to...
And they may look
run
like
off in
Dragon
front
Princes,
and
but they're
redirect some general Demigris was the plan.
Yep.
Was the plan.
Good plan.
I think that's everything, because my army is tiny.
No, 2 bolt throwers.
Oh, 2 bolt
On the
throwers
hill?
Hidden
There
up
they
there.
are.
Dark horses.
They are. Interestingly, at the start of the game, you took some advice and did put them 6 inches next to each other.
Because then they could panic each other off.
Yeah, which interestingly, that same man then didn't follow later on.
And
Yeah.
did it to himself.
Did it to himself. He got his wizard shot off in the first turn and panicked his white lions, who then also run off the board.
Good.
What is the point of giving advice if you won't take it?
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
Just arrogance, really.
Well, we'll put a picture up of him in a bit.
That is rolling for turn.
Rolling for turn, yes, and Loz is playing yellow dice, I'm white dice.
I believe the word is pearlescent.
Pearlescent, yes, thank you. And I got to go first, which with cannons, obviously, everyone wants to go first.
Which is fun.
By the way, this is the first time I've taken Empires with cannon in, I don't even know, like a long time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm quite anti-cannons and quite anti-Sixdice and spells, personally.
You'll see a lot of bitterness.
You'll see a lot of hatred over the coming months. So it's my go first. I went first. Movement, pretty much, didn't move very much.
You trundled down with your steamship into the river, I think.
I trundled into the steamship, which revealed that the steamship was the river was a poison river.
Which was also next to my 50 archers, which was
an awful,
super duper,
awful
for double steam team.
That was double steam team did not enjoy that.
Fuck you, toughness.
I also moved my archers with my level 4 behind the large target
because it's fucking massive.
To get a bit of negative shooting on that big block, which I thought was sensible and quite clever. And then, yeah, 4 wounds. Boom. What happened there?
Well, I think he dodged the first cannon, and he took.
Yeah, he did 2 ward saves.
2 ward saves, yeah.
So I shot the cannon. So my turn 1. So Empire turn 1. 4 cannon shots. 2 were ward saved. 1 only did 1 wound, and then 1 did 3 wounds. So it came out a total of 4 wounds.
Which, all in all, I was actually pretty happy about, bearing in mind there were 4 cannons.
Yeah, 4 cannons.
So I was pretty happy with
2 ward saves on 5.
around.
2 ward saves on 5 ups.
Yeah,
is amazing. But yeah, like there were really no other options. And personally, I think Frost Phoenix for its points is the best monster going.
Oh, hands down.
That's my opinion.
Or maybe the Toad Dragon, but no, it's too complicated.
Yeah. So generating some steam points there. Did I? Yeah.
Must be, yeah.
Yeah. Generated some steam points. That's a bit out of turn. So Elves move. That's it. That's all that happened in Empire turn 1. 4 cannons. 4 cannons got shot.
And you probably plodded forward with your steamship and your demigriffs.
Yeah. Why not take a photo of that?
Camera shy.
Okay, so more photos next time. That's what we need to do. More photos. So those not dragon princes, but
Illyrian Reavers. Probably pronouncing that wrong.
Moved up. The Phoenix Guard moved up.
I think that was Vanguard. There, maybe.
Oh, they were vanguarded to there. That's right.
This is movement. The Phoenix fucked off behind some trees in the.
Moved.
Forget about him.
So the Phoenix moved over there, out the way, which is good. And then you didn't move into the thingy into first turn?
Oh no, I did not.
No, so he did move into the river in the first turn, and that's basically deployment. That's not deployment. That's where he's ended his moving phase. So he's moved his Phoenix over there. He's moved up his Phoenix Guard. He's left his Reavers there. No, that's where they were left after Vanguard because you wanted to redirect the demis. So basically, you get in a move phase. In the charge bit, you get 1 free wheel. So and then when you connect at a point, you then close the gap afterwards. So what you can do if you're playing better than we usually play, is you can do your wheel and connect at a point that's more fortuitous to you than usual. And then when you close the gap, so as you can see, as it looks like, what I would do is I would connect with my middle demigryph into his furthest right hand Illyrian Reaver. But because I did a big wheel and then moved it forward, because I'm allowed free wheel in the charge, I managed to get to where my last demigryph on the right connected with his second to last, or maybe even last, Illyrian Reaver on the left. And then once I closed the door, I was in a good position to overrun into the Phoenix Guard, which you didn't think was possible. No. So that's something good to learn. Right, there. And for everyone at home. So that's that. Right, here we go. Turn 1, Sixdice skill team.
Turn 1 in magic phase for the Elves was 6/6 on Winds of Magic, and 1 spell that was in range. So, Sixdice skill team.
No, two spells. You got
Hand
off.
of Glory. Hand of Glory.
So
Yeah.
first
With
one
one
was,
spell that was in range of your team.
Yeah, so first spell was Fiery Convocation on 6 dice, and you rolled a huge number, but no double 6.
I rolled something like 27 on
6 dice.
Yeah, it was just brilliant.
Just
no
six.
double six to be seen.
3
Did you
fives.
book a
Three fives, no double six.
did you book a Hoeth one of them?
Book Hoeth everything. You always,
Okay.
you always do.
He's got the book of Hoeth, so they've got the book of Hoeth, so they re-rolled, so they got that
You
sorted.
tried a 7 dice dispel, but it failed miserably.
Yes, I saved 7 dice. I had 7 dice. I let Hand of Glory go off first. So he's got Hand of Glory up on his archers, and then he 6 dice this, and he was like, "Why don't you use your scroll?" Because it wasn't irresistible. We had a long argument about it, and I said, "Well, realistically, you are going to kill a lot, but it might turn out that you keep doing that every turn." Now, me and Lars don't particularly 6 dice to spell every turn. Because we play every week, you'll see that there's going to be lots of battle reports, and we play.
We'd like to actually be able to remain friends.
Yeah, but we understand competitive. I understand competitive play, but at no point is that fun.
Well,
Like,
having watched a couple almost come to blows in the Warhammer room today,
yes,
I'm
yes,
glad we don't.
yes. Some people take it very seriously, which is completely okay. But just know, flying down the line and purple sun in an entire ogre army does not make you a good player. It makes you a dick. So,
Six
especially
dice,
if you
fiery convocation.
But even with that said, Loz threw 6 dice of fiery convocation. I didn't scroll it, even though he said I should scroll it.
And he lost 26 men.
26 of that. There were 50 of those. Thankfully, my BSB and Battle Warrior Priest were fine. So yeah, I lost 26 men. Which, I'll be honest, Fiery Convocation is a great spell. I'm not going to argue with you. It's great that it also means I've got to dispel it, but it isn't Dwellers. It isn't. It's a spell which I don't mind people 6 dicing at me, if that makes sense. It's got, because yes, every model, but then you got to roll to wound, and then I think I can take MR. Like,
Yeah,
I could take.
you get all your safes.
So, wicked. Like, personally, like, it's a high cast value. It's fairly short range. I think that's on balance.
The raids in play bit scares me. Scares me a lot.
Because you have faced that before, haven't you?
Faced it before with no wizard and unable to roll enough dice in my magic phase to ever.
Begin to do anything about it.
So yeah, I lost a lot of them. That happened. I was fine with it. I wasn't fine with it, but whatever. So, I charged him. Made the charge. Easy.
See how the demigriffs have been pushed over.
See how they have, how that we've moved them. So that's useful, because my entire plan here was that I wanted to try and get into the Phoenix Guard, and I wanted to direct as many attacks as I could against his level 4, who's in those Phoenix Guard. I didn't think the demis would survive against the Phoenix Guard at all, so it was a bit of a sacrificial, but I thought if I could take out the guy that's doing Arcane Unforging, Fire Convocation, then maybe I might stand a bit of a chance. Did you have any thinking at that point?
Well, not really. I kind of hope my Phoenix Guard would make much shorter working demigriffs than they actually did, bearing in mind there was a horde of them.
Yeah. Also, I've taken 2 wounds from bolt throwers.
On the steamship.
On the demigriff.
On the demigriffs.
And I've taken 1 wound from the entire of those 50 men.
Yes.
And a Lithan R. 3 up armor save, 6 up ward save on that thing. That's alright. So yeah, took 1 wound on that. So this is turn 2 for me, I guess. This is turn 2.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I got my fire spell off again. With +1 to wound on my steamship, which actually was really helpful, because that's what actually, well, we'll see. So that's the board after movement on turn 2 for Empire.
Notice there's not been that much movement by the Empire.
There has not been that much movement by the Empire. Well, that group, that group of 50 archers would have torn up and shot to pieces that group of swordsmen.
Yes, if they weren't in -2 cover.
If they weren't in -2 cover.
So
I,
we were a bit of a kind of a status quo at this point, whereas you didn't want to leave there because you'd get torn up, and I wasn't going to shoot at you because I couldn't shoot at you.
But then that's brilliant, because you just basically made that block totally ineffective, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Through fear.
Yes. But the archers again probably weren't the most effective against a steamship. So
No.
we kind of dicked each other over there. A little bit.
So that's the Empire movement 2, and then moved up a bit with the Lecter and the steam tank, just to give a bit of leadership to those boys. That's just a dog. Ignore that guy. So then, not much else happened. There's not much Empire movement this whole game. The steam tank moved up a bit. And there you go. I don't know what did it. It was either the...
I can guarantee it was a cannon.
It was a cannon, definitely. But I don't know if it was the Phoenix. I don't know if it was the... I think it was the steam ship.
Yeah.
But which is good because I think I also rolled a 3 to wound. And I needed that +1 to wound. Maybe, I don't know, from the spell. So... Yeah, my magic wasn't awful, but there's a dead phoenix, which is nice. Yeah. So after combat, the demigryphs
Obviously rinse the Illyrian Reavers.
obviously trounced them.
Yeah. And then they overran, but they couldn't close the gap because that happens at the start.
Well,
of
no,
the
they couldn't
combat
shuffle
phase.
down. They couldn't shuffle down because that happens. That happens after. Like if it had been a charge, we could have shuffled down. But it wasn't classed as a charge, it was an overrun, so they just stay there, and that's where we fight the combat in Elves High Elves turn 2. So yeah, I was a little bit unhappy. Then Hand of Glory goes off on, now they might look like Empire Cannoneers, but that's actually a Lithanar on the left
And a BSB on the right.
BSB on the right. Now, we do have the models actually, we have a fantastic amount of models,
We're just not very organised.
and they're somewhere, and we don't know where.
But here the elves have done a little shimmy to the left and jumped into the poisonous waters.
Therefore, you're looking at 50 poisoned ballistic skill. Did you get +2?
+2,
yeah.
yeah, on that turn.
So your ballistic skill 6 now.
Ballistic skill sticks on
Ballistic skill
core.
6, poisoned 50 shots. You don't
Shooting.
get 50, you get 40, don't you, or something? Because of volley fire, or you got some.
I
shots?
got 30 from the first 3 ranks, and then I got 10 from the next 2.
Yeah. So there's a picture of them just kicking ass. Again, I think I don't know what happened here. I don't think anything did happen. Did it? So yeah, so you moved into this. This is your movement phase. So we did combat, didn't we?
Correct.
We did combat. Nothing happened.
You saved all your 7 armor saves, and I saved something like 5 ward saves.
Yeah,
So,
so
absolutely.
It was
zero.
the combat and nothing, and then I took a leadership test and I reformed so that I could be further down, as discussed, because I wanted to get there. Move my steam tank up. I moved my steam ship up towards his archers. So this is Empire turn 3 now, and shooting was a nothing. I had nothing really to shoot at with my cannons. Magic was a nothing. Nothing happened. So combat, I lost 3 wounds, but I think I did 3 wounds.
The mage for 3 wounds.
Yes, and I killed the mage for 3 wounds.
He
didn't
was
I?
carrying my Book of Hoeth, which affected my magic for the rest of the game.
Yeah. So he was carrying his Book of Foeth and was his level 4, so that screwed the game up a bit on his magic front. And I think it was something close to a draw. You won by 1, but then I had leadership 9 or 10 nearby.
Yeah, and you got it on the nose.
Yeah, and I was fine. There we go. There's a little victory shot of the dead wizard. The suicide demis going in. Now I thought at this point the demis are dead. That's just, I'm thinking, like, you know, I lost 3 in the first round of combat. I thought this for the rest of the game. Like,
3 wounds.
3 wounds. I was like, well, yeah, I lost 1 demi. I was like, this is they're going to be dead soon. And then I really didn't know what I was going to do about this. Do you want to know the truth? I didn't know what I was going to do about this Phoenix Guard when they came at me.
I knew they were eating your swords, but
Yeah, and I've got nothing else. So I was just like, I'm lost a bit here. What I'm going to do? Okay, yeah, 5 wounds. This is what happens. So, I think in the first round of this is your turn 3 now.
this is start turn 3. Yeah.
This is High Elves turn 3. He didn't move because he only has 4 units. 2 bolt throwers who don't move. His archers who didn't move.
And
maybe
Phoenix
the-
Guard who are in combat.
And Phoenix Guard are in combat.
The
So-
steamship slowly sailing towards my archers up the river in
Up the river, kicking ass.
true cannon fashion.
What happened is he then got his 40-50 shots, and they all had poison because of the river. So I ended up having to make something like 13 armor saves or something, and I made a lot of them.
13 3-ups and you
lost like 3.
Yeah,
so
and I got a
that's
6
great.
up. So turn 1 you did 1 wound, turn 2 you did 1 wound, this is your turn 3, you did another 3 wounds.
Lithalar still failed to actually land a
Oh
wound.
yeah, so Lithanar, your bolt thrower man.
Along with my other 2 bolt throwers who've also failed to land a wound.
Well, Lithanar, you failed to hit with once, and then
At ballistic skill 7 already.
and then next time you hit once and then failed to wound
Yeah.
at strength 7, and then so he really didn't help you out much this game. So yeah, but then I'm a little worried now. It has got 12 wounds, but it's a Forge World model if you ever want to look it up. You should go on Warhammer Forge, it's wicked stuff.
Here is the combo charge.
So that your turn. You shot at the steamship.
I
Yep.
did, doing
The
another 3
combat-
wounds.
The combat on High Elf turn 3 was a few more. One more demi went down, or you only did 1 wound, but I did a few more or something. But it was a draw essentially, a full draw.
Essentially, yeah.
A full draw. We both stayed. You didn't reform.
No,
Maybe some people say maybe you should have gone deeper.
maybe.
But anyway, so now we go to Empire turn 4. Movement is basically this. The double steam. This is like some sort of sex move.
What with the steam penis?
two steam ramrods left and right.
Both holes. Both holes.
So that's exciting and funny. And I was at this point I didn't think my steamship had impact hits, but I was relying on its thunderstomp. But it turns out it does have impact hits, which is really good. But still, I can't say I was incredibly.
Overly impressed.
Oh well, no, I don't know. I thought with your 4 up wards. I just thought at which point you got a high magic. Oh no, not now. At turn 4 you had a high magic spell off, didn't you? And you were up on 3 ups at one point. But yeah, absolutely ass kicker. Like I was like 4 up wards. I'm not going to be able to kill many of them, and you might still win. Thought it was a bit of a risk.
Yeah. Well, I thought at this point I'd absolutely just been destroyed. But I guess you can never destroy a 4 up ward.
No, you can't. That's it. So just in case you wondered what other movement happened, nothing. Empire just stood around. They're refusing to move.
2
Cowardly.
detachments also doing
Nothing. Shooting. The turn before we'd killed 1 bolt thrower, and this turn we killed the last bolt thrower for my cannons. So that was nice to take that away, because I was a little bit worried about my Arch Lector. This, you want to talk about this?
This, I believe, maybe my ward saves, maybe my wounds. I can't remember. Either way, pretty boss. one of my innate Warhammer skills is dice rolling.
Okay, yes, this is exciting. So there's obviously there's no actual facts to be said about this sort of thing, but
it's all about the wrist flick, mate.
It's well, it's a well-known fact that I'm very poor at luck, if that's even something you can actually be poor at. I mean, yeah, I've done really badly before, but we won't go. This is a new start. These are new battle reports. For some reason, on Dark Elves, I can't pass leadership tests. What are my other general food bars? Just everything. Magic. I'm really bad at magic all the time. Usually.
I've got quite good at magic, I don't know why.
Yeah. Anyway, so Loz just wanted to point out his innate Warhammer skill is rolling dice.
Look at that. Where are those odds? Yeah, go on. Math hammer.
Okay, so impact hits from the steamship and the steam tank. I slew with the steam tank, didn't I?
Yeah.
I got D6 impact hits, and then I got
You
3D3.
Which you rolled 6 on the first impact hits, and then you rolled another 2 6s and 3.
So I got I think of the potential.
You got 12
A potential.
plus 2, you got 14.
No, I didn't. I got 6 plus 6, which is 12, and then I got plus 12, I got 14. Out of potential 15.
Yes, out of a maximum of...
A maximum of 15. So I was over the moon about that, and obviously I think almost all of them wounded. But
Phoenix Guard saying no.
So now, yeah, obviously some of them. You see, there is some attempt to paint stuff. No one at home get all whingy. There's an attempt to paint stuff. We're getting there.
And that is a group consisting of White Lions, Lothan Sea Guard, and Phoenix Guard.
Well, use your imagination, they're all Phoenix Guard currently. They've been incorporated in. So massive. So for combat res, I mean, you were a little bit disappointed at this point, were you?
Well, I thought they'd have been a bit carved up the Demigriff Knights.
Just because of the way shit was going, but I was losing too many men at this point that my output was dropping with my numbers. And so I got a little bit scared at the big fat steam ship going in the side.
So that was a combat 1, but they're stubborn. No, they weren't stubborn. This is really interesting. They're steadfast, because the ship nor the tank break steadfast or ranks or whatever it is, and you got a unit of 5, and I've just got 2 men in the front, so steadfast. Leadership 8 or 9 for Elves, or whatever it was, so you stuck.
Minus like a couple, which I re-rolled and
minus nothing. It's steadfast is minus nothing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so you're absolutely fine. I mean, it was a trounce in the combat, but you can't argue without steadfast. So there you go. You can have all these big monsters all you like. You're not going to be able to break ranks or some of those things, which is cool. So you stuck around, perfect tank unit. So
And this is now High Elves turn.
High Elves turn
4 or 5?
no, where are we up to? Turn 4. Yeah, turn 4.
Turn 4.
Well,
The steamship presented its entire flank to a horde of poisoned elves, so they just couldn't really resist.
I honestly, I mean, I know you having the wall for my swordsman was really useful, but as you say, that unit there, just having those poisoned attacks is just absolutely made them not witch elves because they didn't get 3 attacks each, but a lot.
Essentially, archers that turn.
Well, you can also fight from another rank, can't you? So you had like 40 attacks.
Yeah, so I had 40 attacks.
Crazy.
40 attacks hitting on 3s, re-rolling misses, just ended up with a horrendous amount of 6s, I believe, in that first
Yeah,
turn.
it was just ridiculous.
Like, I just looked down and it was like 13 just 6s.
It was disgusting. It was something like 14 or 15 wounds I had to save.
I did 5 wounds, I believe.
Yeah, eventually it works out that you did 5 wounds to that unit.
2 a toughness 6, 3 up armour with
6 plus ward.
with strength 3 attacks. So yeah,
Yeah, with strength
go
attacks.
river. That's what
Yeah,
I
go
say.
river. Get them rivers. That's why we bring them. If it's on that chart, I mean, a lot of people don't use terrain, or don't bother terrain, or just kind of like half bother with terrain, which I think is a huge mistake, and I know you agree.
Oh yeah, much.
Because the terrain's up there. It's as an integral part of the game as any other part of the rule book. So don't just be messing about with it. Like
More
if,
so. Sometimes.
if your local game shop doesn't have a river, go and buy one. You know, it's £30. Yeah, it's £30.
And they're 2 colours, so it's easy to pay.
Yeah, just actually get involved in your hobby. So I moved. So this is Empire turn 5.
Stationary once again.
Okay, this wasn't a particularly thrilling movement game, but then usually I play lizardmen, so I'm very much moving about.
Thrilling.
More thrilling. Whoa! Okay, yeah.
A lizardmen movie.
What?
A lizardmen movie.
No, my skinks.
So skinks are. Lizardmen
Skinks are
themselves aren't. They're just going to go
No.
plod.
No. And I'm thinking if I was to class myself as a gamer, I'd class myself as a countercharger, or maybe like I kind of wait for a bit, don't I? I'm always a waiter.
Have you seen Top Gun? Maverick.
You're Maverick. I'm not being goose. That's just a fact. So level 4 got moved over into
Out of the skirmishes.
Out of
into
skirmishes.
The swordsman.
the swordsman. Do you know why I did that?
Because I was about to shoot them.
Correct, because I was worried that after the amount of wounds that took, that my skirmishers were going to be the next to get fired by them 40 or 50 shots. So I didn't want to lose them, and I didn't want to lose my level 4. Because at this point, I think I was doing okay on points. So I moved him over there, and because all my spells were essentially rubbish, no one criticised taking the Law of Fire.
That means you, neckbeards.
That's you, neckbeards, whoever you are. What happened? I moved him in there. That's why I moved him in there. Okay, keeping him safe from them shots. So, but the cannoneers and some archers move up. That's it. So shooting, I did nothing. Magic, I did nothing. And then in Empire turn.
No, this is your turn.
Yeah, Empire turn 5. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
Empire.
you're Empire.
Empire turn 5. Again, that combat. There was a bit of a discussion here about stuff being in combat, not in combat.
Combat rares after stuff dies and gets replaced and breaks up the combat. How it
It breaks up the combat, but we worked it out. And either way, that unit got trounced. My steamship died. Now, an interesting thing, you can't see it here because we obviously had to move the model, but once the steamship dies, it gets to roll on the chart. And it rolled on the chart where it stayed where it was. It was destroyed. Explodes, stays where it explodes, so it did a couple of wounds to some models. And then it stays where it is and it becomes dangerous terrain. And then there was a discussion, is that dangerous terrain impassable terrain? And I was like, well, no, because it says it's dangerous terrain, but Loz was pointing out that the steamship itself as a model meant that you couldn't shoot through it, and I was like, no, you're going to have to move over it. You know, which is a little bit difficult at those times when, like, the rules are
ambiguous,
especially with interesting stuff like that, when you do have these wicked, unique models. But I like that. There's some of the other stuff was it explodes into a shower, like there's some different stuff in that chart. But I thought that was really cool. I like
the fact that it's so big anyway as a model that it, as a piece of terrain, can change shit, and because you will be using it as a physical blocker most of the time because that's its purpose probably.
Yeah, it's tanky.
And so then when it blows up and continues to do its job after it's died is fairly good.
It's fairly good because you were saying it's 300 points for that steam tank, steamship, and you were like, I'd rather take a steam tank for
take another one.
Yeah, another steam tank, but I didn't mind. I didn't think it really. It's slower to move across the board than the steam tank, but then it can survive longer than the steam tank. So, oh well. So what you see here is the elves are actually they've taken over the ship, and they've destroyed it. They've taken over it, and they're firing from it, which is I think quite thematic and cool. The Phoenix Guard reformed. To face the old Killbot. I don't know what I would fight that with. Steam tanks.
Trolls.
Trolls, yeah, good. Yeah, just so great. Steam tanks themselves. That was just a photo. I just wanted to show off my steam ship. I haven't based it yet, so it's not finished. No one message and complain. Yes, so it was High Elves. What you did is you moved forward and you shot at my skirmishers. Did not much.
I did one wound, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It was really poor.
Awful,
Something happened. And then one of my cannons had misfired at this point, so I think maybe both. No one had died.
One misfired, one just misfired on the hit, so I didn't hit.
Yes. So I basically had no shooting. The Phoenix Guard got killed. I generated some steam points. That's fairly lucky.
3 or 4 turns of combat, the steam tank
won.
ground them down.
It ground them down and got me the points. And this was in turn 5 of turn 6. There really wasn't much else to be happening. The reason there's not many photos is
it was pretty decided at this point.
Yeah. Well, no, because this was turn. I think this was on my last turn. And it was like, I'm not sure whether or not I'm actually going to get these points. And if I hadn't got those points, all you'd have lost is 2 bolt throwers and a Phoenix.
Yeah, which is...
And I'd have lost...
80 points or something.
The pack of Demis, who we forgot to mention ran away from that combat earlier.
Oh yeah, they failed the leadership test and then fled, and then double one to rally, flee again, off the board by points for me.
Points for him, and you also got the steam ship, which is 300 points. So you're up 550 points, and I wasn't even close
at this
to
point,
that.
you're only on
So at this point, you were winning.
At this point,
I'd killed you level 4.
Yes, you did. And
So,
he was 300.
Yeah, so it was maybe
you were only ahead by a couple of hundred.
Couple hundred points in my favour. So had I not got the Phoenix Guard, it would have been a very, very close game. That's not fair of anything. The MVP, there hasn't been many photos of it in this game, was my War Altar, which did exactly nothing.
Did it even manage to give hatred to a unit?
No. It did give the General's Inspiring Presence to the Demis.
But
that.
you failed. Anyway.
No, I didn't know. That was on the first one where I needed that leadership.
Okay.
So, and they literally passed off his leadership. So that was good. But yeah, I did not much with him. But to be honest, facing small arms fire, having someone quite vulnerable like he is, especially the amount of small arms fire that you had, and even the bolt throwers, I just thought, that's 3 points for you, really.
Yeah.
So I kept him out of the way. And he's not that combat effective.
Oh, no, he's a buff bot.
Yeah, he's a buff bot. And I took him because I painted him and I was fairly proud of it. Really. Like, that's why he was there. That's all to be said about that, really. Didn't do much. The swordsmen were brilliant.
I'd say they were MVPs. They possibly did less than the Elector.
They did less than the Elector.
Oh, but they've moved at this point.
No, this is. I just took this after we'd finished the game.
Oh, okay.
That was that. They were your MVPs, I think.
Yeah, well, they were what my list was kind of based around.
There's me looking triumphant, happy.
Looking just as happy as he was in the first picture.
Because I love playing Warhammer.
Just for the record, it's really hard to deal with a person this happy all the time.
I'm not always this happy.
Over the coming months, you'll notice where the positivity is.
This is the loss. That's the loss phase. So going through it, your thoughts about your list? Obviously, it's not a tournament list, so anyone that's listening for tournament lists, go away.
What do you mean go away? No, come play me with this list at tournaments. Great.
No, not this tournament list. What? Would you change anything?
Yeah, I wouldn't have 50 archers in a block.
You took them.
I took them, but I knew they weren't exactly the most competitive point sync I could have come up with.
Do you think my
could have had 4 phoenixes?
Do you think my list was competitive?
Oh, very. 2 stanks and 4 cannons. I mean, come on.
Well, you mean 2 steam tanks, kind of, and 2 cannons as well. So 4 cannons in total. I don't think I didn't particularly write it as being competitive though, as I discussed.
No.
The war order didn't do anything.
No.
I could have freed up those points probably.
I thought it was a bit odd that you put it over there.
I told you, it's just stuff I generally painted. I was like, I just fancied that. I love blocks of infantry for Empire. I know some people like knights, but that's me. I like what you do with Lithanar is amazing as well. Lithanar gives the unit -1 to hit, which is just devastating sometimes.
Devastating when he's in a group of skirmishes. He
Yeah.
becomes almost immune.
I mean, anyone could point out immediately. You could just pit of Shades or Final Trans or Dwellers, either of those 2 blocks, and just win the game. But Sixdice wins are
Not most enjoyable or satisfying either way.
It requires no skill. Like people, I don't know who's going to. Someone might try and start a discussion about it, but I don't see ever where the skill factor relies on just moving one model and 6 dice. You might as well just play one model versus one model.
Well, if you can decide the game before they've had their first turn, then
Yeah.
I don't really know why you say anything else.
No, I mean you lost the Phoenix. I mean the cannons are effective, but you lost the Phoenix.
They weren't overly effective against this list because there wasn't much to show off after the Phoenix.
Which is my tournament list. Me and Loz are going to go to the Throne of Skulls soon.
Yes.
I think in July or something. We're going to that, and we're looking forward to that. And you're taking Empire, aren't you? You're taking Light Council and Cannons.
Light Council and Cannons and Stank?
2 stanks?
No, not 2.
You know, you're taking a stank and a Celestial Hurricane.
Yes.
Although maybe it's 2 steam tanks.
Maybe, yeah, I'm sold on the steam tanks.
I'm sold on them. And I'm taking Lizardman.
Brave.
Brave because, as we all know, a very average book.
Pure Crocs. Pure Crocs.
I'm going to take Crocs, Ripodactyls, and Jungle Swarms. So if you come in to fight me at Throne of Skulls, good luck, because this is also our first tournament.
Tournament virginity going.
So we're going to be Are you going to take a camera and do like your battle reps for the day?
We
that
could
would
do,
be-
but
that
a
would
lot
be
of
cool.
pictures and memories to try and remember.
All right, you know,
We played one game today.
Yeah, but you could take notes with a voice recorder thing.
Yeah.
It might be interesting because then we get our own.
Are you even coming?
I'm going.
Some of us has a girlfriend. And some of us
Yeah,
have another one.
I do fortunately have a girlfriend currently, but less said about that the better. I don't think my list wasn't a list that I was trying to take for anything. I just took a list. That's what.
No, which is what you should do.
Yeah, this is what you're going to see on these battle reports. We're going to take a lot of random shit. Lots of different armies. I think the only armies we don't have are Beastmen. No, I've got Skaven. Tomb Kings. Beastmen, Tomb Kings, and Bretts.
We aren't really an army.
Oh, they are. Well, you don't want to say that to the Sustainable Centre. Little shout out to you. He runs Bretts all the time. So does Once Bitten, I think. They're both really famous war gamers and run Bretts loads. And they do really well. They're really interesting.
Yeah. I've never even seen Bretts. Like, never in my life.
Oh, they're good. They are good. They've got some cool shit. Yeah, so I think... are you playing next Wednesday? We're playing this one.
Every Wednesday, forever.
Every Wednesday. We'll be playing a lot. We might do another one again soon. I don't know what I want to play next. I can't decide.
I'm playing next.
Wood Elves.
Wood Elves. Enjoy the next 19 battle reports, same as us and everyone else.
Well, it's just going to be all of my different armies versus Wood Elves. The thing is, though, is when fighting Wood Elves, they're so. I think you have to start incorporating very fast stuff into your army intentionally now.
I can't wait for the stank of Wood Elves.
No armor saves. Yeah, crazy. Really interesting. Cool. All right, so done. What else?
Talk to you later.
Yeah. No, thanks for listening. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, we should do that. Thanks for listening.